We are back, we are back, we are back, we are back. Yes. After the longest in season break in modern F1 history, man, 6 weeks without a race. All I can say is I'm glad and I'm excited that we have race again this weekend. I don't remember a time where we had in season break of 6 weeks. It's been a long time, but of course it was because the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and the Bahrain Grand Prix were both cancelled because of the war in the Middle East has our world has fallen into. But that aside, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. So much has happened in F1. Of course, I haven't made any video regarding all the happenings because, of course, I have a life. I'm busy. I mean, you have a life too, but so you would understand. Anyway, so let's catch up with everything that's happened so far in this period, in this 6 week period. I'm sure I'm going to mess with a lot of things. I'm going to forget a lot of things as well. But the top ones, I think, are what I will just basically talk about before we go into the predictions and the preview for the Miami Grand Prix. Also, it's a sprint weekend, so it's gonna be more action. So yeah, I'll bring you up to speed on everything that's happened. So the biggest news during the 6 weeks break: GP is leaving Red Bull at the end of 2028. Yes, you heard it here. Max Verstappen race engineer, I think Giampiero Lambiesi, I think that's how his name is pronounced, Giampiero Lambiesi, yeah, will be joining McLaren in 2028, at the end of 2028. So, and also, it's crazy because 2028 is quite strategic because that is also when Max Verstappen's Red Bull contract expires. So will Max stay at Red Bull up until the end of his contract, or will he leave F1 as he has? So, people will say, oh, Max has been threatening to leave F1. Of course, he's not enjoying the racing and all of that, but I think this is quite strategic from both of them. It's either Max leaves Red Bull or Max retires from F1 at the end of 2028, but we will never know until we get there, right? So yeah, that was a big one. So GP will be joining McLaren as the chief racing engineer, and I think he'll be reporting directly to the team principal. Yeah. And in other news, one of my favorite tracks have returned to the F1 calendar, which is the Turkish Grand Prix. The Istanbul Park is back on the F1 race calendar. Listen, when the Bahrain and the Saudi Grand Prix were both cancelled, I tweeted this out. I was like, bring back the Turkish Grand Prix and bring back Portimao, the Portuguese Grand Prix. I'm telling you, you have those two tracks on the calendar, certified banger. See, all the races that have happened there was no boring race. I promise you. If you want to see what I'm talking about, just go and watch the highlights from the 2020-2021 F1 season. Those COVID years, oh Lord, those were races. I mean, very, very interesting races, like races that kept you at the edge of your seat, So that's what we want to see again. And I'm so happy because from next season, the Turkish Grand Prix is back on the calendar and will be on the calendar up to 2031. So 2027 to 2031, at least for now. And that's how long it is, a 4-year contract. So we'll see if that will be extended in due time. But yeah, also, I mean, there's a new Grand Prix coming up this season as well, the Madrid Grand Prix. So we'll see. I think that is still also in the works. So we'll see what happens with that. And in big news also for women in Formula One, I think a very huge step forward in Formula One. Dorian Pan, I think it's pronounced Dorian. It spells Dorian Pin. Now, I'm not French. I think the name is French, so it's pronounced Dorian Pan. Right. So yes, she is the former. I mean, I think she's the current actress. She's the current F1 Academy champion, but of course she's not an F1 Academy. She is part of the Mercedes development program, Mercedes driver development program. So I think she's one of the development drivers at the moment, but she was able to get a run in the Mercedes W12. If you don't know the W12 is the car that won Mercedes' last Constructors' Championship back in 2021. It's the car in which Max Verstappen beat to win his first World Championship. Very powerful car, to be honest. I think all things being equal, we know Lewis should have won that championship that day, but well, what happened, and it is what it is. So yes, Dorian Pan became the first woman ever to drive a Mercedes Formula One car. Yes, I think the first woman ever to drive a Formula One car was probably Aston Martin. I don't remember her name, but I'm not sure. I don't think she's either the first or there was someone in the 80s or 70s. I don't know. But that being said, I think it's a huge step for her. I think very young. I think she's 22. So she had 20, I think she had 76 laps in Silverstone. So it was good. I mean, very impressive. I think that's almost more than race distance, I think, for Silverstone. I think Silverstone is 52 laps for a full race distance. So good to see that women in F1. I think maybe in the nearest future we will see something. But honestly, if you look at the picture of Dorian Pan from her her F1 Academy World Championship, like last race in F1 Academy, to the pictures that were there when she was in this drive in the W12. My goodness, did you see her neck? Nah, honestly, what goes into training to drive a Formula One car? Insane. Insane. If you see how huge her neck got, mean, I'm not going to put the pictures up, but just you go find it. Go on Mercedes F1 Twitter page or Instagram. You'll see that. You see what I'm talking about. So, yes. So, now coming into the race weekend itself, talking about upgrades. Now, and you know, it's been like almost 6 weeks that there's been no race. Of course, I think this has given a lot of F1 teams the time to refine their cars, see what's working, see what they can improve to catch up with Mercedes. Because right now, I think Mercedes is dominating everything. I think Ferrari gives us an inter-team battle between each other, although McLaren are looking very sharp in Japan. So looking forward to seeing wonderful things from McLaren, honestly. So anyway, I think Red Bull, from a little shakedown video I saw, not a video, basically pictures about, it appears Red Bull have their own version of the Macarena wing, so I think we will be seeing that at the Miami Grand Prix. And maybe they might have been able to, improve the car a bit, because I was even very surprised when I saw a report that apparently Red Bull have built the best engine in Formula One in 2026. For some reason, their chassis is just so poor. Like, I don't know what they're doing in there, but they better fix up. They better fix up. Now, that's just the engine side, not the electrical deployment side, because I think on the electrical deployment side, the Mercedes is absolutely the best. So when you combine the two, I think the Mercedes is still on top. So I think Red Bull have a lot to figure out. And also their car is heavy, way heavier compared to the others. Yep. Also, McLaren will be bringing upgrades, I think, based on I saw a report from the team principal, Andre Stella. McLaren will be bringing upgrades across the next two races, Miami and Canada. So, and one thing about McLaren is when they bring upgrades, their upgrades work. Like, I don't know how they correlate. I mean, their correlation is just top of the, what would you say, top of the food chain, because they are so good. It's like once they do something in their wind tunnel and bring it on track, it just translates. It's working, So let's see whether that will put them on par with Mercedes, because of course aerodynamically they're one of the best teams in F1 right now. And given what they showed in Japan, Piastri almost won that race, if not because of that safety car. I don't think Kimi was so lucky with the safety car to steal that win away from Oscar Piastri. So yeah. Also, if you remember from the Japanese Grand Prix, when they interviewed Fred Vasseur after the race, he was like, the championship starts in Miami. See, Ferrari, please don't disappoint me. I know this is my first year being a Ferrari fan. I have joined the hype train. Please don't disappoint me. Give me something to be happy about, okay? Just give me something to be happy about. So yeah, that's it about upgrades that I know of. Of course, every other team will bring in their own upgrades. It's been a huge 5-6 weeks break. So of course, you will see a lot of things coming in and you'll see a lot of modifications of so many things on the car. So looking forward to that, really. Another big thing that happened was there was a review of the technical regulations. It was updated. Now, I will not go into details of what those upgrades were, because honestly, I don't think it's going to change much on the cars, on how the cars are performing right now. Maybe it will help, but I don't think so. The cars are still gonna get slower anyway, and it's still electrical yo-yo racing. So yeah, I think. But based on what they did, I think I said the changes were done to promote better qualifying. Better qualifying performance. I mean, still the drivers are not in 100% control of the car. To be honest, it's still the electrical deployment and harvesting and all of that. They've reduced that a bit. They've done things to reduce all of those harvesting, the rate of harvesting and all of that, and also consistency in race performance. If one thing that stood out from the last race was the Oliver Bierman crash. If you see the closing speed between him and Colapinto, I really hope that never happens again, because that is really dangerous. 51G, I think that was the crash. Either 51 or 55G, the Oliver Bierman crash. It was really dangerous, and not. It wasn't the fault of the drivers. It was just that a discrepancy in energy deployment for both cars, and the closing speed was just too much. Oliver Bierman tried to dodge and led to that heavy crash. But I'm glad he's fine. So we'll see if that will improve anything, and also the mechanism for the race starts have been improved. Hopefully, we see that if that does anything. And also, I think improving safety and visibility for wet weather racing conditions. Now, I don't know if we've seen. I can't remember if we've raced in the wet session this year. I honestly can't remember that, but I don't think so yet. So we're yet to see a wet race this season. Whatever they're doing, maybe from their simulation data, they've seen something that's not working and they're trying to adjust it. So let's see if that will bring about safety for the driver. So yeah, that's about it. And also FP1 session. So we really have one FP1 session this week, because it's a sprint weekend, right? This is a second sprint weekend of the F1 calendar, F1 2026. So, and because it's been a while since we've had a race. So, and these teams are bringing a lot of upgrades, including accommodating all the changes that have been made to the regulations. So, FP1 have been extended by an extra 30 minutes. So, instead of having 1 hour FP1s, we're going to have 1 hour, 30 minutes FP1s, which is 90 minutes of free practice. Hopefully we get to see something there. But after that, we go into sprint qualifying, then the sprint race, then qualifying, then the race itself, which is on Sunday. So without further ado, let's get into our predictions for the Miami Grand Prix. So without further ado, sprint pole. I think this is going to come without surprise, because I said I am hopping on the Ferrari hype train. So the best qualifier in Ferrari come forward. Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc for the sprint pole. I think Ferrari always, like, if you look at the past sprint weekends, when Ferrari don't have to do too much on the car, like maybe just go from FP1 into sprint quali session, I think they always do very well, right? So it's when they have so much time, FP1, FP2, FP3, they dial, they do this, they do this, they do that, and they do too many things. That's when they always mess up the car. But this one, I think, one free practice session straight into qualifying, I think if the hype is real, it will be a Ferrari pole position. So I'm going to go with Charles Leclerc on pole. For the sprint podium now, that's the top three in the sprint. I'm going to go Charles Leclerc to win. Yes, because, of course, if he's on sprint pole, I don't think anyone is catching that Ferrari. Honestly, their getaway off the line, especially with the advantage they have on restarts, nobody's catching that guy. So, for sprint podium, I'm going to go with Charles Leclerc in P1. In P2, I'm going to go with Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli because he actually drove very well at Miami last year. I think this is one of his favorite tracks. So, and with the form he's currently having, I don't know if the 5-week break will probably have hampered his momentum a bit, but hopefully not. So I'm going with Kimi Antonelli in P2, and in P3 I'm going to go with the second Ferrari, which is Lewis Hamilton. So it's a double Ferrari podium. Let's see if that's going to come true. Fingers crossed. So for the race itself, for this main race qualifying, in pole position, I'm going to go with George Russell. So the thing about Mercedes is that if you give them time to figure out their issue, and they have more time, they've collected data, and the setup is in a better window, I think they would probably do a lot better, in terms of performance. So in that regard, I'm gonna go with George Russell. I know you could easily go Kimi Antonelli as well, because as I mentioned, Kimi Antonelli went very well around here last year. So hopefully he can perform like that again. I think it would be very interesting to see, because right now he's leading the world championship, and I think George Russell will be doing everything he can to claw back some of that advantage, or at least take the lead again. Let it be like a switching of the lead every race weekend. So yeah, that's my prediction for pole. And in the top three for the race. Now, in P3, I'm going to go again with Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis Hamilton, I just have this good feeling about Lewis, really, of late. I think this season, his performances have been very close to Charles. And also, I think China, him getting his first Ferrari podium there, I think he was quite unlucky not to get like a podium in Japan. But you know what? These things happen. You can't get them every day. And for him, he just needs to get consistently on that podium. I think with time, he'll push for the race win. Because Lewis is a 7-time world champion, almost 8. Man, listen. He has proven it time and again that he's capable. So let's see. Hopefully this is his weekend. P3 for Lewis Hamilton. And in P2, I'm going to go with Kimi Antonelli. Yep. This is going to be, I think, more of a battle between the Mercedes. Now, will it be him or will it be a McLaren? Because the way McLaren are moving, honestly, I'm scared for Mercedes at the moment. But let's keep that aside. P2, Kimi Antonelli, and P1, I'm going to go still with George Russell. Everything going well. If he starts on pole, except if the Ferraris get a magnificent start, which they always do. Even if there's a front row lockup from the Mercedes, like the Ferraris always get a good start anyway. So let's see if they figured out that issue, because also it's been 5 weeks for them to improve. They might have been the best team, but they can also get better, right? It's something Mercedes do, especially with these hybrid cars. They're very good at setting them up, especially when it comes to just pure plain performance. So to my flop of the race week. Now, I am not going to make a predictions for the flop for this weekend, because honestly, it's been a while. We don't know what the competitive landscape is looking like. I know I can just go off vibes, but I'm not going to do that this weekend, right? So let's see how it goes. Have people are we going to see some changes to the ranking, to the pecking order of the Formula One teams? Let's see. I am really excited about this one, because honestly, it's been a while. And thank God there's not going to be another 6-week break from now till the end of the season. Fingers crossed, no more wars around the world. Please, everyone behave themselves, okay? And so for my crazy prediction is going to be for both Aston Martins to finish the race. I know. I think I have made these predictions twice this season, and this is going to be the third time, I think. And this is the 5th race of the year. It's not looking good, bruv. It is not looking good at all for Aston Martin. But yeah, hopefully they've been able to fix some of their issues with the whole vibration of the engine and the car, whatever. I hope they're able to fix it. So yeah, that has been my prediction and my preview for the Miami Grand Prix. So join me. I'm going to be live streaming. Not live streaming. I'm going to be doing a watch along for the sprint qualifying, the sprint race, the qualifying, and the race as well. It's going to be an interesting weekend. So let's do it together. Don't forget to join my live stream. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Do take care of yourself.